organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV.
From piles of snow and icy roads to swampy, slushy puddles, a look ahead at the changing weather this week.
And that grocery bill may never be as low as you'd like, but we'll take a look at some cheaper choices to give your budget a break.
And in sports, the latest in our series of NFL Combine Primers.
Daily Iowan TV is ready to go. Good evening, I'm Brianna Jett.
And I'm Matt Starnes. Weather took a turn around today. It almost felt like spring. Daily Iowan TV's Kelly O'Lean went out and trudged through the wet mess. Kelly, what'd you find?
Things are starting to warm up on campus, and while the temperature rises, the snow is melting down.
Have you been splashed at all walking to class?
Yes, I was twice this morning.
Oh no, whereabouts?
Right down Burlington and Gilbert. Both me and my roommate were both splashed.
Oh no, okay. And do you have any protective footwear, like rain boots, or do you want to build a boat, or how do you plan on getting to class in the future?
I plan on taking the bus and avoiding all puddles.
People on campus were definitely dressed for the warmth today. From rain boots to shorts, many chose to dress appropriately for the weather. However, Iowa's winter has been brutal, with lows in the negative double digits and heaping amounts of snow. Although recent highs in the upper 30s feel warm, they're just warm enough to melt the ice.
Can you just tell us about your shoe choice and why you decided to wear them?
Well, since it's actually warm out today and all the snow is melting, I really didn't want to ruin any of my Uggs.
All right, and so you decided to wear rain boots, I see. Now, have you been splashed at all, or have you ruined any Uggs this winter from the snow, the rain, the water, the salt?
Yeah, a couple pairs from the salt. It just rubs everything right off.
All right, and how do you feel about this weather right now as opposed like it's being sunny? Are you going to decide to wear rain boots again? Will you bring your Uggs back out if it gets cold again?
If it gets cold again, I might bring them back out, but I'd rather just stick to the rain boots and hope that spring will stick around.
Thanks, Kelly. For students, every buck counts, but you've got to eat, so where do you go? Walmart or Hy-Vee? Our own Jordan Mickle takes a look into a location you may not think of to keep more cash in your pocket. Jordan?
Hey guys, right behind me is the new Aldi's off of Highway 1. Well, with spring break coming up, students are going to try to save money any way they can for their spring break trip, and that includes groceries. And I wanted to figure out exactly where would the cheapest place be to buy groceries for something as simple as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And here's what I found. If you come here to Aldi's, the cost for a standard loaf of bread, jar of peanut butter, and jar of jelly comes up to only $7. Thing is that you have to pay for your own cart and your own bags, and that's something to consider, especially since it's not walking distance away. If you go to Hy-Vee for like a late night snack, the price overall will be closer to $8. And also, if you have a car, you can actually rack up some fuel saver points with Hy-Vee, but it's only really on selective items, and peanut butter and jelly sandwich, none of them really applied to the fuel saver points. So it would only be great if you were getting a lot of groceries. Now for CVS, it can be up to even $9, and that's including smaller servings per container. However, it's located here in the Old Capitol Mall, and that's easy to access. It's walkable. You don't need a car in order to get to CVS. So for students that don't have cars, that's something that they have to consider. So overall, my pick would have to be Aldi's, but that also depends on personal shopping habits as well as means of access. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jordan. And now it's time for this week's edition of Street Chatter. We pick a topic and see what students have to say on the street. We'll hand it over to Daily Iowan TV's Aaron Faust to see what we're chatting about this week.
Draft picks, a popular topic that gets sports fanatics talking, but even this is not what is being talked about right now. The hot topic is an openly gay man coming out right before May's NFL draft. Here's a little recap on what exactly is going on. Michael Sam could be the first openly gay man in the NFL. I say could because he has not been drafted quite yet. I went and talked with students about what they thought of this popular topic in the sports world. What do you think about this situation, and do you think that it's going to open the eyes of other NFL players that could maybe be gay in the NFL?
I think the first player coming out is definitely a step forward for the NFL. I don't think that it could be a bad thing other than maybe some of the flack that he might receive for it.
So what are your thoughts about him coming out right before the draft?
I think it's great. I think it's a chance for him to show who he really is, and maybe he'll start something new and show that it's fine for people to come out.
Do you think that this might open the doors for like other gay players in the NFL?
Oh, of course. I mean, it might take like a couple years, but he's definitely, paving the way.
Do you think he's going to be drafted?
Yeah, I think so.
Let us know what you are thinking and tweet us at DITV News. I will be back in the sports studio later to catch you up on all things black and gold. Back to you guys at the desk.
For nearly 80 years, the use of fireworks in Iowa has been banned, but thanks to a new bill, this ban could soon be lifted. Recently, the restrictions against fireworks have decreased, and the bill proposed by an Iowa Senate subcommittee would allow Iowans to shoot and display fireworks. Things like injury and potential fire hazards have stopped the legalization in years past, but supporters of the bill say revenue from fireworks sales would help communities around the state.
Coming up next on Daily Iowan TV.
The sixth host in the history of NBC's Tonight Show took stage for the first time last night. We'll talk more about the memorable show.
And in sports, news on tonight's Iowa-IU basketball game.
But first, we're going to turn it back over to Daily Iowan TV's Kelly O'Lean and see what the rest of this week looks like. Kelly?
Thanks, guys. I'm not sure what's worse, when the Iowa River floods or when the winter snow melts. But what I am sure is that tomorrow morning will be partly cloudy and 28 degrees, so look out for ice and frozen puddles while walking to class. Tomorrow afternoon will stay cloudy around 33 degrees and will continue to stay warm and overcast through the night with a high of 36. But don't get too comfortable with that warmth yet. Breaking down the week, Thursday the high is 38 with snow dropping down to 36 on Friday, but partly cloudy. Those clouds will hover over and into Saturday with a high of 27 degrees. Temperatures will continue to drop into Sunday with a high of 21 degrees and cloudy. That cold weather plans to stay through Monday with a high of 17 and a 40% chance of snow. So make sure you dress accordingly. That's all for weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kelly. On Monday night, an asteroid was spotted zooming alarmingly close to the Earth's atmosphere. An almost 400-foot asteroid was recorded traveling at 27,000 miles per hour. The asteroid only missed Earth by less than 2 million miles and was spotted a year after a similar object crashed into Russia last spring. The asteroid that hit Russia last year was roughly 60 feet. Since these asteroid spottings are becoming more common, astronomers feel making plans for future trackings are in order.
Monday night marked a new era on NBC's Tonight Show. Jimmy Fallon, formerly the talk show host for the Late Night Show, and also a cast member on Saturday Night Live, took the stage for his first time hosting the Tonight Show. The goal is to have a memorable show, and indeed the goal was met. Celebrities from Lady Gaga to Kim Kardashian took part in the show's return in New York City. Jay Leno was the former host of the Tonight Show for 22 years. Fallon is now the sixth host in the show's 60-year history.
We have all seen the hype on social media about the stray dogs in Sochi, Russia, and how Olympian Gus Kenworthy was trying to adopt a few of these puppies. Well, Kenworthy was supposed to be back home in Colorado Monday, but his plans changed. Kenworthy says he will be staying in Sochi for a few more days until all paperwork is filled out and ready for him to bring the pups home with him. He says he will also be bringing the mom of the litter with him. Other Olympians have also found some strays and are trying to figure out how to get them home.
Records were set for the U.S. last night in Sochi. It was a great night to be an American. Merrill Davis and Charlie White owned the ice with a record score of 195.52, which got them the first ever gold medal in ice dancing for the U.S. Canada, a team that generally gives the U.S. tough competition, took home the silver, and Russia was awarded the bronze. And now for a look at everything going on in the world of black and gold athletics, we'll toss it back to our own Erin Faust, who's standing by. Erin?
Hey guys, Erin Faust here, and welcome to Wrestling Packed Day in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. We'll get to wrestling in a second, but we'll start off with the news that the men's basketball game between Indiana and Iowa was postponed. A large metal beam fell off the roof of an assembly hall this afternoon, damaging a seat. No one was injured by the beam. The Hawks plan to fly back to Iowa City on Tuesday. No makeup has been announced as of yet. The Hawkeye wrestling team met with the media on Tuesday ahead of their first final duel against Wisconsin. The Hawks can clinch a share of the Big Ten dual season, but that isn't on their minds.
We talked about it yesterday. It's something that's the first time it's been brought up. this year. I think it's important that we're doing our job at dual meets. That's, probably the beginning, middle, and end of a good home crowd, is that you're entertaining them. So, now we're going to Madison, but, let's keep a good thing going.
I mean, I guess it's a big deal because it's a title that they give out, but, I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose. We did lose to Penn State, but they're not counting that as a Big Ten competition, so I don't know if it's really that big of a deal to us, but it's part of the process, and it's just the next thing in front of us.
Heavyweight wrestler Tony Nelson is finally getting a break from wrestling. Top 5 opponents after 3 straight matches against Big Ten contenders, Cody Goodwin tried to clear up the crowded race on Sunday's edition of Matt Side.
Thanks, Kevin. Cody Goodwin here for Daily Iowan TV's Matt Side. Kevin is absolutely right. Big Ten heavyweight, a little messy there at the top of the standings in terms of the top 6 wrestlers in heavyweight in the Big Ten Conference. 6 wrestlers, that is Minnesota's Adam Kuhn, Northwestern's Mike McMullen, Iowa's own Bobby Telford, Minnesota's Anthony Nelson, Indiana's Adam Chelfant, and Michigan State's Mike McClure. Those 6 wrestlers specifically have separated themselves from the rest of the pack and have created some insane parity this season. And if you want to get to know how exactly saying that parity actually is, just listen here closely if you can follow along. Bobby Telford has actually lost to Adam Kuhn twice this year. Kuhn has lost to McClure. McClure has lost to Anthony Nelson. Anthony Nelson has lost to McMullen. McMullen has lost to Chelfant, who has, you guessed it, lost to Iowa's Bobby Telford. Quite a bit of a mess there at heavyweight, but they have slowly started to sort themselves out. McClure right now holding the top spot. He's only lost to McClure this year, or McMullen, holding the top spot. Behind him will probably be Michigan's Adam Kuhn. Behind him will probably be Iowa's Bobby Telford. And then fall Chelfant, Nelson, and McClure. Kind of a mess, still sorting itself out. It's not quite yet over. Another weekend of wrestling. Obviously, Iowa's Bobby Telford, a tough match against Medbury of Wisconsin, going to come up on next Sunday for the season finale. Not a slouch. Medbury is up there in Wisconsin, one of those big farm-fed boys. Could very easily play offensive line for the Badgers in football. But again, kind of a mess, slowly sorting itself out. We'll know the exact seedings shortly after the season finale, hopefully within that week, to figure out where Iowa's Bobby Telford, among the others, will fall for the Big Ten championships. That's all I've got here in the Sports Cubicle. Kevin, back to you.
Finally, we'll continue our series on Hawkeyes in the NFL Combine. This time, Anthony Hitchens, Taylor Axelson has all you need to know on the start linebacker.
Senior linebacker Anthony Hitchens will be among the few Iowa football players that will be attending the NFL Combine this weekend. Standing at 6'1" and weighing 233 pounds, the Ohio native is expected to be drafted this year in May. But right now, the NFL DraftScout.com has Hitchens ranked 29th out of 275 linemen in the country. This season at Iowa, Hitchens led the Big Ten in tackles and landed 5th in the nation with just over 11 tackles per game. He's projected to go during the 7th round, most likely after his teammates Christian Kirksey and James Morris. Bleacher Report writer and draft expert James Christensen said, Morris and Hitchens should be drafted. They both have the instincts, athleticism, and production to compete for a roster spot in the NFL. If Hitchens is not drafted in the 7 rounds, he will not last long on the undrafted free agent market. Hitchens told his hometown newspaper, The Chronicle, "It's still my dream to play in the NFL. Hopefully I get the opportunity one day, but I'm still working towards that. He won't have to wait much longer for that day." This is Taylor Axelson, DITV.
That's all we have for tonight's show. Tune in tomorrow for more reaction from the canceled basketball game. For now, back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you hear what the headlines will be in Wednesday's pages of the Daily Iowan.
Black voices and the LGBT community learn how student groups on campus are speaking out during Black History Month.
And more people in the pews read about an increase in church attendance among young adults in Iowa.
Well, we hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Be sure to watch us tomorrow at 9 o'clock, or you can find us online anytime at dailyiowanTV.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere?
I joined and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
SJC.